Hi there and welcome back to Japan and to the karaoke room that I decided to rent to do some reviews. And today we're going to be talking about the recently released song from ELFRIEDE. You know, we've done several reviews of this band and I'm still not 100% sure, even after reading the kana, exactly how you're supposed to say that name. What I am pretty sure of is that this song is called Never End, and this is a song that, although I didn't know it was coming out at the time, it was something of a surprise to me, I have actually been quite looking forward to. See, they went quiet after their last song for about, over a year, I believe, and I wasn't really sure whether they were even still together. It had gone so silent on their YouTube channel, and no one else seemed to have any information on this, so it's really good to have them back, especially considering, obviously, you guys will know that I very recently posted a video about the unfortunate hiatus that's coming up with Silent Siren, and I was saying that we need to have some of these bands who can do pop rock with a real, genuine sense of musicianship and honesty to come in and sort of fill that gap while hopefully we wait for Silent Siren to come back and maybe even bring themselves up to that kind of level. Now, ELFRIEDE have been around doing some really good songs, but I don't feel they quite have been around long enough to have established themselves as well as I think they've got the potential to. So does Never End take them in the correct direction? Well, there's no doubt in my mind that this song certainly does a lot of the things it needs to do right. In that, yes, it doesn't exactly reinvent the wheel, they're not trying to do anything massively weird like changing genre or trying to be edgy, but what they are doing is they're nailing a really good, catchy song. So it's got a good chorus? Yeah, I think it has. Every time it came round, I was enjoying it, and I started getting to the point of singing along to it, even though I'm not quite au fait with the lyrics, but I was doing my that's karaoke. I also really loved that they delivered a proper crunchy, rocky sort of bridge where the guitars came in, there was a nice cool riff, but they didn't sort of go overboard. Like I say, sometimes these bands, when they try to do something a bit heavy, they go overboard to make a statement and maybe turn the guitars up a little bit too edgy to say, hey, we're rock as well. But what I liked here is that you got a good crunchy riff in that section and it got nice and sort of headbangy, but without them losing the overall tone of the song. It still felt like the song was flowing through nicely. It was just a nice little left turn there. So it had a good bridge on it as well. I also really appreciated the use of piano, and this is one of the things I love about this band. This is one of the bands who have a member who plays piano, but also is playing another instrument. So, you know, you see the wide shots of them, and they're all playing their instruments, no one's playing a piano. And then occasionally there'll just be a close shot of someone playing piano, and you're like, But hey, it's still honest musicianship. They're still playing the music. I don't mind. If anything, I actually kind of like bands who go into the studio and are willing to track extra layers. So obviously if they can't do that live, if they have to play their instruments and then have a recording in the background of the piano, but it still had been something that was played by one of the members, I'm not one of those people who's against that. I'm all for that. Maybe they got a live version where they don't have the piano in at all, but I must admit the piano really added something to this, and this is one of the things that I also pointed out. When we have these kind of girls rock bands, there's a lot of hard rocking ones who do that kind of more edgy thing like the Tridents and the Bandmaids and the Love Bites, but I kind of also want to hear bands who have the more poppy sound use things like keyboards in there, because if you're going to have a more poppy sound, that's one of the benefits of it, is that you can kind of have room for more different sounds in there, and most of those tend to be things that come from, I know you have things like string quartets and such like, but usually in a band format you'll have a keyboard player. So I'm glad that ELFRIEDE are using that keyboard, that piano sound, and to me it really elevates this song. It gives it something that takes it beyond just being another sort of jangly rock song. We have to be honest, and I think you can name them without me saying, there are a lot of bands doing, shall we say, a pop rock female guitar band sound at the moment that are just guitar, bass, drums and singers, and a lot of them are really good. I mean, we've got things like the Peggies. I know a lot of people are really into Regal Lily. You've got bands like Lucy too. These are all good bands. However, a lot of them kind of enter that sort of MOR territory, and I do know this is why we have that phrase MOR, when there's a sort of a standard middle of the road sound, and often if you're heavy it's easy to go for that and, you know, forge an identity through a sort of heavy rock sound, but when you're in that more poppy space, this is where having those non-conventional sounds like something as simple as a keyboard or piano player really does make the difference. So again, I'm really happy to see them doing something like that that gives them a bit of a sonic identity and sets them apart. Now, from a more general standpoint, as I said before, yes, you have to accept this is not going to reinvent the wheel. I think for quite a lot of people, they might just say, okay, it's a pop rock song. I do, however, think that it's a really good example of a band who are starting to really get their teeth into making good choruses that are catchy but not cheap and cheesy, who have got good musicianship happening in their music, and also this song feels like it's delivered with a good sense of passion. It does feel like, I mean, I've always noticed that their singer always seems to be really emotional in the videos, and it's not cheesy or anything like that. I just feel that it's got a good sense of, there's a feeling that they really believe in what they're doing, and it's infectious. I find this song really engaging. I think you can get really wrapped up in the mood of it. And as mentioned, with that harder rocking bridge and those more delicate piano elements, it's a song that comes off with a degree of range and colour as well. It's not just a sort of monotone palette. It's something where there's a lot for you to get your ears into. So I must say, I really enjoyed this. Is it going to be a classic, never forget it kind of song? Maybe not. Certainly it's a song that I'm going to be enjoying for a good while yet for now, and we'll certainly come back to. But moreover, it gives me a good feeling about where this band are going in the future. I do hope they do well, even if no one ever really works out how to say their name. But this is a band who I want to get behind and I want to see more from. And certainly, as they go through more things, I think the fact that they're willing to open themselves up to a range of different sounds and be colourful with their sound means that we could see much more variation from them in the future, which is going to be really exciting. Something like, as I say, I use this comparison not to sort of shoehorn them into being something, but something like how Silent Siren, as they developed, they managed to explore more different sounds. However, this is them banking a really good, solid single, in my opinion. I hope people will listen to it, I hope people get into it, and I really do hope this band continue to do well and go on an upwards trajectory. But as always, we have to finish this review with today's metaphor. So my metaphor for this song, well, Never End by ELFRIEDE, is passing your driver's test. It's such a relief. Yeah, not because you didn't necessarily think you could drive before, but now it's official. Things are probably gonna be okay. So there you go, and I look forward to seeing your comments on this video because of course music is all about subjective opinions, so share yours and let's get this conversation started. And a big thank you to anyone who likes, subscribes or follows any of the social medias linked in the description below. An even bigger thank you to our Patreons for keeping this channel running because no adverts, we're not monetized. And a final special thank you to you for making it through to the end of this video. So until I hopefully see you in Japan very soon for the next one of these, for now, ciao ciao.